We're here in the GIS remote sensing facility, and we have at the table here the 6 students who have been working on studying the pharmacy school area impact on economic development. And each of them has had assignments, and today they're having a dialogue about those assignments. So we're going to begin first by introducing everyone at the table. Frank, start with you.
My name is Frank Tolbert, and I'm a senior, and I will be a graduate student at Binghamton University next fall.
My name is Alexandros Balili. I'm a junior, and I'm a geographical information systems major.
My name is Josh Gonzalez. I'm a 3+2 accelerated student. I'm also pursuing a bachelor's in geographic information systems and Africana studies.
My name is Carney Burns. I'm a senior and I'm an urban planning major.
My name is John Ponstingle. I am a second-year grad student, and I'm interested in race and ethnicity.
My name is Russell Aldave. I'm also a second-year graduate student, and my interest is also immigration patterns and racial ethnicity.
Okay, so whoever would like to start, share what your assignment was, what you found that's important, and see if others have comments. Who would like to start?
I'll start. No problem. So I was tasked with first looking at housing tenure and median contract rent for our study area. And what you'll see in these maps specifically, if you want to come over and take a look, you'll specifically see we're studying the triple cities, so Endicott, Johnson City, and Binghamton. And in this area, those are the 3 most urban centers. And we're specifically studying the pharmacy school in Johnson City, and that's focused around one of the most urban centers, which is Johnson City. And what you'll notice for housing tenure, for median contract rent, for a number of variables is that within our specific study area, the 2 census blocks that are most represent usually indicators, they're demographic indicators that show gentrifiable land. Specifically because if you look at median contract rent, the lowest median contract rent are focused in our study area region. And the highest amount of renters in Broome County and specifically in our area are focused right in dead smack our census block group.
Comments? Questions? Why is that relevant? How does it fit with gentrification theory? What did you just say? What is it?
It's very related to the gentrification theory because when we're looking at housing tenure, especially, and we're looking at the possibility of displacement of residents within, especially the area that we're focusing on, which is the area around the school pharmacy in Johnson City, we're going to by analyzing the current progress, from where it started 5 years ago to where it is currently to where it's going to be 5 years from now, we're going to see a lot of change in the demographic, not just shift in regarding to the population that is there, but rather shift as to what is there at that point. Because as the school of pharmacy is coming in, there's going to be a lot of different possibilities of displacement, many different tangents. And in that sense, you could have new student housing opening up. You could have local shops closing down. You could have displacement of local residents, especially residents that previously might have owned a house there. They could be bought out by other companies or by investors that want to invest in possible student housing or something that would be more geared rather to students themselves.
Good.
Yeah, and you can see I did median housing value, and a lot of the housing value in our study area, they're very low housing values, around $30,000 to $37,000, and that's a very low housing value. So this leaves the area very vulnerable to displacement because of how low quality and you consider it poor the area is. And once the pharmacy moves into this area, it's going to have a considerable impact on it. And as also by the population numbers in the thousands, and it's pretty diverse, but it's a majority white, but also it does have a large amount of black and a somewhat large amount of Hispanic population in that area as well. And so we have to really track where this population, where it's going to go to as time progresses.
Anyone want to comment on that?
Yeah. Oh, please.
Yeah. So just to kind of bounce off your point and Connie's point, So when we're looking at displacement, one of the major things that we definitely have to look at, and the things that we have to correlate to one another are definitely race and rent. So rent, in a sense that we have to see the value of rent and how that fluctuates based on the like the value of buildings in the area. So with the pharmacy school being built in that area, we're obviously going to see an increase in rent. Now, what we're doing is we're going to track that increase in rent. We're going to see the trend. We're going to see how much the rent has gone up within the 3 years that the pharmacy school has existed there. Now, when we see how the rent has gone up, we're able to see how the racial demographic has changed. So now that we're tracking how race is, we'll see the direct correlation between how rent going up is going to affect these racial minorities and also economic minorities, and how they're going to be moving out and being displaced from these areas. It's not only those minorities as well. So my maps, I did the population over 65, the unemployment rate, and I also did the median age. So the unemployment rate in the area actually is it's very high. Essentially, you just have a bunch of people there who don't really have jobs. Now, it could be that they're students and their full-time employment could be that they are students, but there's also the hospital area, which kind of explains why the population over 65 is pretty low. Everyone who works there has to be within their 30s or 40s working at the hospital. And there has to be students as well that may be living there. So we're looking at people who are either students with no jobs, people who may be low-income individuals with no jobs, and we also have the individuals who work in the hospital. So it's a huge demographic of different types of people, young people, of low economic background, or students who attend the university. So we're going to see how those students are affected by the pharmacy school, and we're also going to see how those native Johnson City residents are also going to be affected and displaced.
Here you have 6 students who are bringing a variety of databases to play into understanding the study area where the pharmacy and other activity in economic redevelopment is happening because of the state grant to the Southern Tier Development Association. So we're looking at what the census data teach us about the area, which shows that it's very gentrifiable based on many of the characteristics these students have illustrated. And beyond that, we have access to a much more micro database that's much more recent, and the assessor's file, which has land use and land value, is one of those. However, they're subject to error. And we're using one of our technologies, spatial viewing here, to be able to go out street level and record accurately what's there now, where we want to look at, okay, this is sort of pre-gentrification. What's there now? What's vacant? How is this area going to change? Both in terms of the people who reside there currently, but also the uses of the land and those vacant areas that may become more valuable, which remains to be seen. So this is a great demonstration of how students working together with a common goal, working with faculty in the facility, can really contribute substantially to understanding redevelopment.